use this program to help restore traditional moral values, there is an educator's guide available. And this guide provides a full semester of lesson plans that can be used just about anywhere to educate youth and adults on this program. The entire kit is provided free of charge and is available to those who are interested in starting such an activity. As I said, copies of The Way to Happiness will be available to all of you as you leave your event. We also invite you to tour our Public Information Center and find out more about this program and other resources available at this center. And I just want to let you know that all of our staff welcome you with open arms, and we're here to help you in any way with any information that you need or want. And again, it's our privilege to make both this center and the L. Ron Hubbard Community Auditorium available for use by all of you. Please enjoy your event, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Very powerful film. One more round of applause for John Silver, you guys, but more importantly, for the doors being open to the community center. That's what we really need to applaud. The doors are open here at the community center. Let me just give you guys a little bit of facts before I move forward. That here in this area that we're in LA, LAPD calls this area 77 Division. This is 77 Division. And there are over 400 and something churches in this 10.5 square mile radius that goes from South Central, that goes over to West Boulevard at the borderline of Inglewood, and goes as far north as, I believe it stops at Manchester, but as we get towards Western, it goes up a little further to 108. But in this area, 400 something churches. But for the time I've been born till now, it normally leads the city in homicides. Imagine that. More churches, more law enforcement, but also more crimes and more homicides happen right here in this area, and these church doors are closed. I don't say that to promote any particular church, but I do want to say that I applaud the Church of Scientology for having an open door policy no matter what faith we are, no matter what we believe. One more round of applause for the community center being open. I'm not a Scientologist, but they opened the door to me and they offered resources to me, so for that I'm truly grateful. So, moving forward, the power, I did want to say something about the educator in here. The educator is leaving the school, and you guys see what happened to him in that film? He got surrounded by reality. Reality is our children. Some of these individuals are really our children. Our children are killing our children, and sometimes they're killing themselves. But the important message was when the younger generation came together and stood up and said, we're not having it. You're not going to do it. So I believe that's what we're doing here, is building a foundation that the young people can gather together and not let this cycle of violence continue in our community. We have the power to harm or to heal. And we have the power to teach it as well. So let's just keep that in mind. I'm truly grateful to be here with all of you. So we now know who can sing. We know who can pray. We know about this community center. Why don't we know a little bit more about Swag B? Who can I call up to tell us more about Swag B than Ms. Bubbles, Carolyn, Hamilton? You guys, it's going to be a minute. It's going to take a minute. Come on, Bubbles. Come on, Bubbles. Look at Bubbles.
And thanking him for all of you guys that are in here. And I don't have favorites or anything, but I gotta thank my homeboys and my homegirls for coming out today, for being in a part of town that back in the day you would have never allowed us to be in, you would have seen us in. But thanking them for showing up on behalf of Sisters Working Against Gang Violence. I want to give a big giant shout out to my cousin, Townsend, who is my president of class. My homegirl Snoopy. I'm sorry, Sandra, my two right hands. And basically, they are the girly girls that done all of this and made all of this happen because I myself could have done it. Okay, Swag B came about. I backtrack because I'm a little nervous. I had this wrote down, but God meant for me to freestyle it. I have to go back to when I was sitting up Alex in Normandy, and Skipp Townsend started taking call, and my mother was alive, and Skipp used to try to get me to come to the meetings with magazine, some life skill classes, and all started when he was saying they was gonna give $25 to come to the class. So I put my 40 ounce down for just a little while and went on up there with magazine only to find out that I got used for my car. I had 100 little kids in my car, and I was too old to get the money. So that started my journey. I started hanging out at Skipp's every now and then when I could put my drug usage and my drinking to the side. And then I started going to a couple of his events. Then I started going to see Fire. I grew up a little, and then I started hanging out with a lady named Donna Graham, and I tried to make it work with girls in gangs, but what happened was I'm stubborn, I'm bossy, and I didn't have the vision that they had. I had my own vision. So working with somebody else, it just wasn't going to work. I went to PCITI, I graduated, and I was a little bit too outspoken there, and I overstepped my boundaries a little bit too much sometimes there too. So my husband said, you know all the people, you know what you're doing, everybody know you, so why don't you just go on and do it on your own? So, in the middle of doing all of that, a lady named Valerie Goodslow talked me into going to Camp Gideon. She told me that I was going to be a counselor for some bad kids that was just like me. So to be quite honest, I stayed out all night, I was in my hood, and I was doing what Bubba do, what I wanted to do. But I managed to get up in the morning, and my dad said, he was a lineman, he was like, Bubba, that lady been calling for you? And I was like, I don't want to go to no Camp Gideon. But Valerie pulled up in front of my house, and I ended up going, and I met two very influential people that mean a very lot to me today, and you guys may know them. I can bust them out now. Mr. and Mrs. Glenn Turman. Can you stand up, please? Now, I don't know if you guys know who they are. I know some of you old timers right here. Glenn was in JD's Revenge and Cootie High. He was the one that monkey threw stuff on. So, I went to Camp Gideon, and I was allowed to be a kid for a day, and I didn't end up watching the kids. It was actually the start of one of my detoxes. I slept through summer program, I ate through a lot of the other ones, and then I wrote the cow, and I done cowboy stuff. So I came back, and I kept having this vision. And people came and people left. Everybody was like, Bubbles, we gonna help you, Bubbles. So, I think I was a little bit too much for them, a little bit too outspoken. And their vision wasn't my vision. And then my cousin Springland called me one day, and I'm quite sure she regrets that to this day. because ever since then I've been hollering and yelling and we've been arguing but one thing I can say is she never left. She stayed true to the game like she did when we was in the street. She's tolerated my mess and she's made all of this happen, and without her I probably would be back on the corner of Adams and Normandy with her, and without Maxine Walton's mouth, Lord knows I didn't want Maxine to ever walk up on me again on Adams and Normandy. And she constantly calls some swag starting my cousin's spring. We just put our hands together, made a plan, and she started saying, Bubbles, stop just telling people we're going to be at a certain place. Stop just thinking of stuff for us to do. Stop. And the more she said it, the more I done it, but the more she came on with me and the more she made things happen. So that's how Swag Me started. And I want to thank all you guys for being a part of my life. I cannot forget this. It was over by the grace of God and the prayers of the righteous, because they do avail as much. I want to thank this table right here, Mama McAfee and Nadine Robert Cassidy. Please stand up. Please stand up. When my mother left, McAfee took over the job of praying for me, and she's prayed for me for over 30 years. My friend Nadine, she's come with my sister to drive me to drug programs. She's went to court with me and was scared, but I laughed at the DA, and they just knew I was going to jail. And my dad was very upset, but she was the humble one, and she doesn't like to speak, but I thank God for her prayers. My cousin Victoria is sitting right here, and her daughter, and everybody else that I forgot, Teddy here, my homeboy country, everybody. Swag B started because I was a part of everybody in here's life. And that's it.